computer. Hello.
Hi, Pamela.
So today we have Maggie from the Hypnotic Niche. And well, I should say welcome to Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. And today we have Maggie Donovan. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for this conversation. I
Me
really
too.
want to introduce the world to what you do because even though we're both hypnotherapists, there's
Uh-huh.
every hypnotherapist is different. And even if they were trained in the same spot, which we were not trained by the same people or the same schools,
Mhm.
but even if they are, each person is different. So yeah, it's great to connect. And so let's see. So tell us a little bit about what you do in the holistic healing world.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a certified clinical and transpersonal hypnotherapist,
Yeah.
but I do specialize in the spiritual benefits
Yeah.
of hypnotherapy. Excuse me, and I incorporate a lot of past life astrology as well
Mm-hmm.
into my practice. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
so looking on your website, there's all kinds of offerings that you have. You have past life regression, as you mentioned, life between lives,
Mhm.
the spiritual journey, and karmic destiny and karmic astrology, and you have packages and you have single sessions. So, how do you determine what somebody is really, which sort of offering or a service that you're going to do with them? How do you determine that when a new client comes to you?
Oh, sure. Oftentimes, if somebody is looking for, say, a spiritual session, they already know right off the bat. They're
Okay,
going to
yeah.
contact me saying that I'm really interested in past life regression therapy, or occasionally I'll have someone who's been through a lot of therapy for a phobia or
Yeah.
something like that, and I'm kind of like their last stitch effort when they
Right,
go
I
through a
know.
past life.
I
And
understand that, yeah.
oftentimes I'll recommend, past life regression therapy if they feel that they can't find that,
Right, right.
uh, originating memory in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I don't just, do the spiritual end. I do practice traditional
Mm-hmm.
hypnotherapy as well. I guess you could say traditional.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
but and with that, I just, I listen to what the client has to say, what they're looking to do, and I'll determine it from there. I'm not going to just jump into past
Yeah,
life regression or anything like that with anyone.
yeah,
But oftentimes the spiritual journey packages or life between lives or the karmic destiny sessions, those
yeah.
clients are already like well aware of it, and that's what they want to do. So they'll just let me
Yeah.
know.
So they will have visited your website and they sort of
Mm-hmm.
pick out like this is the thing I want to do or this is the thing I want to try or this is what I think is going to be most helpful to me and they'll come to you and tell you that that's what they're looking for. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
They may have questions about the number of
Sure.
sessions, but that's it. They
Yeah.
already have their minds up, made up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, good. Yeah, I was asking because I get clients that come to me like, these are my issues. What are we going to do about it? Kind of a thing, and then I kind
Right.
of determine where we're going from there through through our consultation and that. So how did you get started in this?
Well, it's been a long and winding journey.
Yeah.
But let's see. Like when I was about 19 years old, I had discovered past life regression. And
Mm.
I had a book. I found a book. I used to haunt the metaphysical section of bookstores
Yes, yes.
like hours. And I
Sure.
found a past life regression book that I got. And I was fascinated by it. And I had
Mm-hmm.
always been into astrology. As soon as I had
Mm-hmm.
discovered astrology as a teenager, it's just been a constant in my life.
Yeah.
It's like the weather for
Yeah.
me. So it was always there. And I went to the University of New Orleans to get a degree in psychology with the idea of continuing on to become
Yeah.
a hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, Hurricane Katrina happened.
Oh
And
my.
yes, and our
Wow.
lives were turned like topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
So we were refugees, and I was still
Mm.
in the middle of trying to finish my degree.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
so I had to find something that I could do pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I did work briefly in the psych field,
Mm-hmm.
on the insurance end,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up in teaching. I ended up
Oh,
teaching
wow.
history, ancient history, for
Neat.
middle schoolers. Yeah, for like 10 years.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then it was just something that I stayed in. It was consistent, it was steady, and I really love history,
Yeah.
which actually feeds into the work that I do. Like I
Yeah.
find that when, we do past life regressions, like, ooh, I think this is the Silk Road or something like that. Like
Yeah.
get all
So
excited.
interesting. Wow.
And
Yeah.
then COVID happened, and
Right.
so I think
Like
that's everybody's story, right?
all these big events. Yeah.
Yes, and then I was like, you know what? What happened to that dream that I had,
Yeah.
to get into past life regression? So then I found the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy where I got my schooling, and
Nice.
it just everything fell into place. Like they were
Yeah.
going to offer only online. They weren't doing it before, and I was like, this is all magically happening for me. So
Yeah.
I just followed that
Love that.
thread, and then karmic astrology, incorporating that into the past life regression therapy. I can't even explain how that happened. It just
Yeah.
was very natural. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I
Nice.
really want to look at this person's chart, like, because I really feel like that there's something there. And then it just sort of evolved to
Yeah.
utilizing both modalities
Mm-hmm.
to help the client, especially if
Great.
the client's open to that. Because you'll find a
Right.
lot of people are open to
Yeah.
it, and more people are becoming more and more open to utilizing
Yeah.
astrology to help them heal.
Yeah. And I think, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and I think that a lot of people have already tried so many of the more typical and more what you would think of more traditional types of therapies and treatment and help and everything. So I think that people are becoming more open to, well, let's
Mhm.
try this, whatever it
Yes.
is. This sounds interesting. And if you're drawn to something, it's kind of like that's probably a good indication that that might be something helpful for you.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So, I wanted to ask you, um, so I know there's so many different kinds of hypnotherapy and different services that you offer, but if you can explain a little bit for somebody who's never even heard of it and might want to know what it feels like for them or what they can expect if they when they come to you, and you could describe whether you want to go with just your basic hypnotherapy or if you want to go
Mhm.
into life between lives or karmic destiny, whatever you want to talk about, but
Uh-huh.
just give an idea of what it might feel like for the client for the first time
Okay.
client.
So we can talk about, I guess, the spiritual journey,
Okay.
and the karmic death, because it's all sort of woven in together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intertwined together. Sure.
Yes, because it's normally most clients like the 3 to 4 session
Yeah.
package with that, and it includes a past life regression, like baseline session, and we do like the shadow side. We're not just
Yeah.
going in just see what's coming up. We want to
Yeah.
see, what's meaningful
Mm-hmm.
that we can work on, and then we do the karmic destiny
Mm-hmm.
session, and then life between lines is the last one. That's one of my favorites. I
I
love it.
see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to have some sessions under your belt before you just jump into that one, because that one is deep,
Deep.
and
Yeah.
it's
Involved.
involved
Yeah.
and completely and utterly out of this world. So it's good for people to have some experience.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't jump right in the deep end.
no, no, please don't.
Get some
So yeah,
swimming lessons first. Yeah.
yes, you need to know what it feels like, and learn to navigate. So when a client
Yeah.
first comes to me, let's say if they want to do a spiritual journey package, and we'll just do the 3 sessions. We do the past life regression baseline session where the goal is to
Mm-hmm.
visit 3 different lifetimes that
Okay.
are most impacting them today, like the shadow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, what's so interesting when you go that route is that these lifetimes, no matter how different they
Mm-hmm.
are, the theme is the same,
Mm.
or it's
Interesting.
extremely similar. Um,
Mm.
and it's, like a broad idea, but it is infused in each lifetime, like loneliness. You
Yeah.
can, have different players, different settings, different time periods, but the loneliness
Yeah.
stays.
Wow.
And
And so do you feel like it's like kind of and not to interrupt you there, but
oh no, it's
but
okay.
like if there's the same theme that's going on, do you think that each time they come back here in a different life, are they still trying to overcome that, whatever it is that's been holding through all these lives? And then this is kind of the thing that could possibly help them to finally get over that or learn to process through that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you're like right on the money there.
Yeah,
Because
great.
most of the time, if they come to me for, just trying, I had one client that came to me. She really struggled with uh, feelings of not fitting in,
Yeah.
and just feeling like she didn't belong here. And then
Mm,
the string of different lifetimes that
yeah.
we explored, it was the same thing. It was like
Hmm.
she may be close with like one person, but then that was it. So it was something that she
Yeah.
continued to struggle with.
Yeah.
And then when we did the karmic destiny session, where I infuse
So
karmic
amazing.
astrology, oh,
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. I really can't.
Yeah.
But the karmic destiny session, so I do a karmic astrology report, a personalized report for them. So I already have a really good picture of their
Hmm.
past life astrology before we delve in.
Mm.
Um, and obviously, I don't reveal any of this to the client prior to doing
Right.
that session, but they get the report right after. I'll like email it right after or right when we start. I'm
Yeah.
like, boop, sent. Okay. But so the chart oftentimes mirrors the things that you're going to see in those past lives, which is
So
so
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really
Absolutely.
is. And then when you do the past life regression therapy with that, which follows, which is a huge part of the karmic destiny session,
Hmm.
even though we're coming at it from a karmic astrology angle, um, either one of those lifetimes that we explored already
Yeah.
surfaces, and
Wow.
that's one of the first ones that we have to work through.
Yeah.
um, or it could be something else that the subconscious decided, like, no, all of a sudden we want to work on this Neptune retrograde like right now.
Wow. Yeah.
So but most of the time, actually vast majority of the time, one of those lifetimes that we explored
Hmm.
does come up in that session.
Yeah.
So in that session, um, I help the client, we help them heal. It's not
Hmm.
just about, oh, I was living in the 1920s,
Right.
so
It's not
on.
like just an interest kind of a thing. And that's
Mm-mm.
something that I'm just learning through talking to other people is I almost felt like probably a couple of years ago, I felt like past life regression was more of just like a curiosity thing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
only just recently learning about how it can really help in healing and overall healing of so many different things in your life. And now
Yes.
it's now learning too, and partially from you as well, is that these things you carry over through,
Mm-hmm.
through your DNA, through your ancestry. I mean, it just goes way back. And when you, begin to heal something within yourself, not only are you helping to heal the past generations, you're helping to heal the future generations. Even if you don't have
Yes.
children of your own, it's still, you are healing those long time karmic, things within you that are holding you back. And of course,
Yes.
it can't help but to hold back future generations, you know, um, or, it can help to heal those future so they don't have to go through that same stuff that you and your ancestors have gone through for however long eons.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so amazing. So amazing. Yeah, it's not just a
Yeah.
curious. So, yeah, you were talking about it's not just a a
Oh yeah, no.
curiosity thing. It's to help them get through something or to
Yes, it's to help them heal, like you said,
yeah.
and not just them, but the
Yeah.
ancestral line, which I love
Right.
that you brought that up, because sometimes that does come through.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I know that when we go into the subconscious, we don't know what's going to come up. We just
Right.
work with it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, some wild things have happened during that particular session.
Hmm.
But one of the things too, not only do we work to heal during that session, that part,
Hmm.
um, I also try to help to put them on their North Node track,
Okay.
which in your karmic astrology chart, you have your South Node placement, which is that energy that you've come into this lifetime in, with, that you've mastered,
Hmm.
you feel really comfortable in, but you're supposed to be evolving towards your north node.
Yeah.
And that energy is exact opposite of that south node.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I have a south node Aquarius first house, which is like, I'm okay with working for humanity and all of that, and like, but I don't really want to be seen. Um, I'll just do it like, behind my desk or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm supposed to evolve towards a Leo seventh
Mhm.
house energy, which is like one on one
Okay.
in a Leo fashion, which is
Yeah.
a little more flamboyant, which was
Right. Well, when you think of the lion, right? It's
yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I ever gonna get there? But slowly but surely,
yeah.
you do the work, and then you work towards that north node. I offer like north node meditations, personalized
Hmm.
meditations for my clients to take after that session, just to reinforce.
Yeah.
Um,
So great. Yeah.
yeah. And then so the third session is the life between lives session,
Hmm.
which I love Dr. Michael Newton. I love all
Yeah.
his work. And so
Amazing.
this session is this culmination where we can touch on everything that we
Hmm.
explored. We get to, we go through the steps of Dr. Newton's work.
Hmm.
Um, the afterlife steps where we, the soul group, soul council, and soul council is the one that really gives us all of these insights. And then we can go to like the Akashic records and things like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know if it's just the clients that I attract or what. Sometimes these clients do not have an afterlife like that.
Hmm.
It's a little different, and it's very very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and oftentimes,
I kind of wonder, I think sometimes what we attract and the clients that come to us are what we need, maybe even more than we know. Like something that's going to
yes,
help us on our
yes,
healing journey or our own spiritual journey, working with them. Working
yes.
with these people is going to also be like a mutual kind of a beneficial thing. I think that that's what happens a lot of the time, especially when it's something you don't expect,
Yes.
or if you feel it deeply within yourself, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you do, because I know I do too. Like sometimes when you're facilitating these sessions, you're like, whoa, I can feel this as well myself, and you kind
Mm-hmm.
of have to
Yes.
make sure you stay in your role almost because you can kind of like, you know, get yourself, into a state as well. It's
Yes.
yeah, you have to,
That's so true. That's so
yeah,
true. And that's a good point because, yeah, the clients that you attract, for whatever reason, it does resonate
yeah,
deep on the soul level. Like there
yeah.
is, um, I seem to have been attracting a lot of women who carry, I guess, what they call the witch wound,
Mm-hmm.
where in a past life they were, branded as a witch or somebody that
Right.
was into the supernatural, or they just had psychic abilities
Right.
that they knew.
Anything that would have been branded a witch at that time, any kind of even like midwives and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
and
like
they
herbal
carry.
women or yeah.
Yes, yes, even, yeah, people that were helping their community.
Right. Like
Yeah.
healing lights in the community that happen to be women, so they must be a witch. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and that's exactly what happened. Like a lot of these women, were, they had nothing but good intentions,
Mm-hmm.
but then they had this branding,
Absolutely.
and either horrific torture
Yeah.
happened to them, or they were considered outcasts.
Right.
Um, and there was this shame, or this healing had to be healed, of
Mm-hmm.
not being able to feel like they could be their true selves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was something that you had to hide away or be tortured. Yeah.
Yes, and
That's
oftentimes these
yeah.
women in this lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
they're wanting to do something different with their lives,
Yeah.
but that was kind of holding them back. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, what if I'm judged? What if,
Right.
this happens? It's almost like, it's there,
Yeah.
and it's been carried over. So it's one
Yeah.
of those things to
There's
help them heal.
there's we talk about with the LGBTQ community about being in the closet, but there's also, I'm sure you've heard people talk about being in the spiritual closet,
Oh
and they
yeah.
don't want to show like they have abilities or they have these skills or these or even just these interests. And I'm
Hmm.
sure a lot of that has to do with that witch wound, it sounds
Yes.
like. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting. And
it
the
is.
life between lives, oftentimes you get so much insight
Yeah,
um, into that as well, whatever the themes were.
yeah,
And not only that, future lives as
yeah.
well.
So amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a lot
Sorry.
of information, but I
Yeah.
hope that it transfers well for people watching. That's great. So let me see. So you mentioned doing, I know on your website you can do one-on-one or in-person sessions,
Mhm.
but mostly is it through Zoom or just
It's
through video or mostly just through the internet somehow?
I actually do I do about half and
Oh,
half.
okay.
So I don't know if it's because of where I live. I live in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
So and I work out of a metaphysical shop here.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm lucky to have that
Yeah.
community that's allows me to.
Already interested in all of that. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. And to have that space. Yeah.
yes,
To
and to
take
have the
clients.
space
Hmm.
um, that's a welcoming space. It's not like
Yeah.
just a random office space.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's um, it's very nice, and they
Great.
respect what I do, and
Yeah. Of
so I love
course.
that. So yeah,
Nice.
about half and half.
Nice. Okay. So, I want to ask you, what do you have on the horizon? Anything that you're looking to do or anything new coming up for you?
Yeah, so I am looking to become certified or take additional coursework in
Hmm.
forensic hypnosis.
Nice. Nice. So amazing.
Mhm.
And so will that be added? That'll probably be added like in the packages as well as, is that something that would be a one kind of a thing or definitely blended within the packages or both?
That's a good question. I think that
Not sure yet. That's
that's
okay.
one of those things that'll probably work itself out. But
Yeah.
I think that it would be good to offer a single session first,
Yeah.
because oftentimes, if you can get the memory to surface,
Yeah.
you only need the one session. Um,
Yeah.
but there could be subsequent sessions where we could wrap it into a package through
Yeah.
my traditional hypnotherapy
Hmm.
packages as well. Like you could say,
Yeah.
well, we could do, 3 sessions, it's at a discount, and
Yeah.
just work with what comes up in the memory. If we need to do healing, we could go deeper.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but and once you're taking those courses and those classes and that, like you said, I think it'll kind of work itself out. You'll get an idea of where this best fits in with what you already are doing. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think it would be
Okay.
cool to work with the police as well, but I don't know if they're
Yeah.
really into that anymore.
It
But
it might it just kind of I think depends on where you are, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And your location and just the community. So
yes.
yeah. Yeah, and maybe if somebody in the shop that you're already in, if they know somebody in law enforcement, like if you have another in rather than just going to them cold,
Oh
maybe,
yeah. Yeah,
they
that's a
might
good
know.
idea.
Yeah. So, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to tell the public about the hypnotic niche?
Um, I guess,
There's
there's so much.
there's
I
so
guess
much more, right? So what, go ahead and give people where they can find you, where they can contact you, all your info contact information.
Okay, so you can contact me through my website at thehypnoticniche.com.
Yeah.
You can, become a subscriber. I send out, like special deals for my subscribers once a
Nice.
month, and then I do, blog posts
Yeah.
and, other goodies come through. Um, and then you can also book through my website if you want to
Nice.
book a Zoom session. If you want in person, just email me directly
Hmm.
by hitting that contact me on my website, and I can kind of juggle the location schedule and
Yeah.
my schedule and then your schedule. But yes, so that's where you can find me. And then of course I'm on Instagram at Hypnotic Niche, and then I have a TikTok now that I'm starting
Okay.
to try to build. I
Yeah.
really neglected it for a while, but it's also at Hypnotic Niche.
Hypnotic niche. Okay. And so those links will be, I'll put them in the description below. But I want to tell people that, you, regardless of how you feel about anything that Maggie has shared with us today, you have to visit her Instagram because I
Mhm.
just love I just love the way your content there.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
kind of like old-timey mystic art kind
Mhm.
of stuff, and it's just so unique and so cool, I just love it.
Oh, thank
So
you.
visit that regardless of if you visit anything else or anything. Just go visit her over there because
Mhm.
it's really cool. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. So I want to thank you so much once again for sharing everything. And like you said, there's just so much. And, we could probably do a whole nother episode on what you do, but it's all there on your website.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful website. So visit that as well so you can see everything that she has to offer. And yeah, so I guess that's that for today. And we will see you next time.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye. Thank you.